Alright, is this live? Is this live? I don't know. Sometimes I never know with YouTube. Yep, I think so. Now why is there chat? Oh, there we go. Hey, I can pop out their chat. That's lovely. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so for those watching this on YouTube, well, after it's been concluded, this is a late night streaming. I'm working on the virtualization for Dissension. This is getting everything, all of the UI to be as polished as I can get it. And right now I'm just working on structure showing up on the map in a dynamic and meaningful way, I should say. So that is exactly what we are doing here. And nothing too fancy at all. Alright, now I'm just setting up the variables, which I will show you in a second. But right now everything is, since every slide is going to be playable, I have to code this for, oops, every side has got to be just straight out of the box working. For the most part, right? Okay. So I'll show you what I'm working on here in a second, but first I'm just getting this to work for, I think that's the height. Yeah, that should work just fine. So structure marker. And okay. So these need to be all detected and deleted. Okay, so this is going to create markers when I open up the map. It's going to create markers and then it needs to create them and then delete them after you close the map, because that's going to be the easiest way, I think, to handle this. Oh, definitely want that there. Okay, I think I know how to handle that. Okay, so this code we need to move. Map marker temp. Put those into a variable here. So I'm going to be making some markers, and then when you close the map, I want it to delete the markers. This also allows me to add a really easy toggle. You can delete the markers and have them only repopulate once you open the map again. So that could be not the worst thing. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get that. Let's see. So let's get that in here. Just gonna push that back. Okay, so all this though, it's okay to have up there, but I want this to be right in here. Recreate map markers. Okay. Do that all right? Okay, perfect. I'll do a quick check. If the map marker's array is greater than 1, then, or greater than 0, then we delete everything and then recreate it. Okay, so this will create the marker. Right now, this code should work, but it won't do too much. But let's go ahead and see if we got that working. Oop, let's back up. I need to make a lookup table essentially for what structures are. Structure lookup.sqf. And this one, oh boy, I have a lot of these functions open. There we go. This function will store all the important info for structures to display to players. This way we don't have to save it into each individual thing. So that's great. So what we need to do is add that to our, before this becomes a real function, right? We have to back out, go to our config dysfunctions, right? And that's just, we have different function areas set up, and that's just right in the root kind of functions folder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I called, that's going to be, this is so I remember how to call it, right? But I called it the structure lookup. Okay, so that's going to be class structure lookup. Perfect. So I'm going to load it in right now. I won't do anything right now, but at least like it's defined already, and I can recompile it in the game and get it working in the game. Let's go ahead and load in. This is our intro. I'm just using the testing preset, which is just nothing but VR entities for all this. We haven't got these units even spawning in yet, so we don't have to worry about that, but continue. Right now it just shoves us to the HQ. One thing I'm noticing is that the objects that are spawning in are not, this isn't really a flat area, they're kind of floating. Not the worst thing in the world right now, it's such a minor bug. So if I were to lower them to the ground, and I probably should be doing that for each object, needs to get lower to the ground. That is a minor bug, that is fixable, for sure. Looks like it's actually trying, it's just not doing a good job of it. Yeah. Okay. I'm a sucker for that. Let me go ahead and fix that. Let's do one. Okay. So let's take a look. What do we got here on the map? So we have, oh, we have a glitch here. So you can see as I load this up, all these towns, and they're showing up green, which is good. And this one's, the marker itself is blue here, but you can see in this little box that I have that is showing up with blue text, and that needs to be green because, well, that's owned by Dissension. So we take a look at our mouse move function here, and we go ahead and quickly take a look at what we have. The side color gets picked. And then down here, where we decide, okay, I see. This code here, I took this out a little too early. That needs to be down here. That should fix. Now if I recompile that function. Yep, now they're green again and this is blue. Perfect. Okay. I want some different music here. Let's get some of my favorite game music. Good old RimWorld music. Alright. Got it. Okay. It's a little loud. Hold on. Got it. Perfect. Okay, so now we have this. So we can see, as I hover over this, here's a resistance town. Nothing will spawn in yet, but now we can tell that here's the airstrip. Here is the Linge Haven. And you can see that just real quick glance, not even reading anything. You see green, you know it's resistance. There's lots of green to tell you. Oh, what's this? There's like a little tiny one here called Fortress Ruins in here as well. And that's a really tiny one, but that's also a point in there. And then we have up here, we started here, and it's a random selection, but we're in the bottom right corner. And you can see under structures, it says HQ structure, which is what this is a placeholder, but here's the HQ structure object right here. See, there's an invisible door. I need to fix this, but we took the place of a building here. Lines up quite nicely, actually, with those tires. So there's our HQ structure. But what I want to do, and you can see in the map now. Oh, look at this. There's actually a little thing right here. So I want to make it as when you zoom in, you hover over this, and you get that same box that pops up. Now it gives you info for that. But to do that, the very first thing I do is I need to finish this structural lookup. And so the way I'm envisioning this, and this may drastically change, is you're going to oh, how am I going to do this? You can't set variable to a marker, I believe. Can you? Can you set variable to a marker? Namespace, object, group, team member, task. You set to a location. Only location is a control and display. Okay. No, you can't set it to marker. That makes sense. I was just very, very curious for a second there. You're good. So no. So we will need to set it to the logic itself. Could just add it to this variable. I would hate to have to do that, but you know what, that may be better than setting a variable. So yeah, okay. So I'm thinking out loud on how to get this done. So what we're gonna do is up here we create the markers and we put them into a marker array temp. But I'm thinking, let me just put this here to save it for right now. I'm thinking when we create these, we should push back the marker, and then we push back all the data for that into it as well. So when we do the marker, we want to do x like 0, just like that, which is good. Okay. But now we need to do a whole other thing. And we don't have enemy structures yet, so we're just going to ignore this. It's in there. The code's in there, but this is going to be a to-do here for later. Create friendly structures. I mean, we haven't even done infantry movement in the map yet. We're just doing structures for right now. Infantry movement is going to come much, much, much later. Okay. So, by now we need to do the whole thing of where our mouse is. So we do. So right now you can see what the structures are, and if I want to make it so when you zoom in, then it starts selecting it. So I'll do it when you're out here, zoomed out. You can't see what the structures are. You gotta zoom in just a little bit. So when it hits right here, then you can start looking at each individual structure is. I think that's the way I'd like to do it. And we're gonna actually make them invisible first. So what we have here is somewhere in here we have the scale, yeah. So if the scale is low, it does a completely different code. And then here, since we are zoomed in, we can now render the markers for each individual structure. Look at that lovely typing there. Okay. just gonna ignore that. Let me get my... Second, I'm changing some windows here. Data Gaming, hello! Okay. We are just doing some, hope you're having a good night. I'm doing some late night coding. We're trying to work on the UI for Dissension is what we're doing right now. Okay, well, on the virtualization. So one nice thing about that I don't think I even address is, we'll see if this works. So this is all spawned in locally on each client in terms of the structures if you're nearby. So if I teleport away, that structure, if it's working, should actually despawn completely, which it does, and leaves behind just a game logic, which is perfect. It's completely gone, not just invisible, it's just gone. And so if I teleport back in, give it a couple seconds, you can see it, the whole thing just spawns back in. Which is perfect. It's exactly what I need. So this way, as a player, I can control that distance. If I'm way over here on the map, those structures aren't just invisible, they're completely gone. When making, hopefully helping frame rate massively, and allowing me to up the number of structures. And I can even make it really ridiculous where you only have so many structures rendered at a time and get into a town, so you get all sorts of things. In the Philippines, wow. You're the first person I've ever talked to from the Philippines. Well, that's not true, but the first person I've talked to about armor stuff in the Philippines. Thank you, yeah. Still working on it, but I'm working on Dissension before I do anything more to VCOM. Sasha, hello, from Australia, I'm assuming. Okay, nice, hope you guys are all doing well. Okay, so what am I doing here? Okay, so I need to, since we're zoomed in, now we want to show these icons. So, I'm just going to change it up quite a bit. So as long as there's more than one icon on there, we can run this code. And that code is going to be this. So once we zoom in, we want to go ahead and make the icons visible. So we're going to practice that, or see if we can get that working right now. Let's get the parameters broken down here. What do I store in this? Yeah. So we have the marker, and then we have the data, really. And so what I want to do is pass the data to this, and then we can set marker alpha local to 1. And so we can test this right now. So I can go into the mouse move. Oh, we got an error though. Hold on. Line 31. Delete. Oh, because we have to completely reload because of the way I stored them before. Yep, that's right. Oh, it's Husky. Yeah, you're Husky. Wow, man. I see you typing in TFR on occasion. I hope you're feeling better. Hope you got a new career. Oh, I'm a huge fan of RimWorld. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of RimWorld. Just playing. That's why I haven't done as much armor work in the past 2 weeks, because I've been playing multiplayer RimWorld with a friend, and it has been loads of fun. I'm gonna come down a little bit more. Let's try another 0.5 meters, maybe. Okay. So you can see on the map right here. Oh, we're here again. Wow. Here again. So you can see there's no marker on it. As I zoom in, it pops up. Oh, I need to make this when I zoom out. It goes back away because when I zoom in, they pop up. And I zoom out, they don't pop away yet, but let's add that in. Yeah, I love RimWorld to death. I love those types of games. I am probably one of the few people who spent the time learning Door Fortress. With texture packs, of course, and loved the hell out of it. Okay. You must play RimWorld then. Yeah, if you recognize the music. RimWorld is a very good game. What am I doing here? Okay. I got distracted about lovely RimWorld stuff. So let's go back to our code here. Where do we do that? Here we are. So once we zoom back out, though, we want to go ahead and set the mark off back to 0, and we don't need to look up anything. So we just need to, oops, reset markers back to 0 alpha. So let's test that. Ooh, that scared me. Okay, so as we're far out, we can look at the information in towns. We zoom in, the town info goes away, but then now the individual structures show up. You can see we can kind of play with this. It's not perfect because it's always dependent on your mouse moving, but you can see that hides a lot of clutter on the map. So I can look around the map still, and then I could zoom in here, and now I can start looking at individual structures without getting in the way. So it allows me to use the same window here that displays information. I can use that same window structure on this without having to have like a bunch of UIs popping up and having logic for that. So now I can mouse over this and have it pop up info about it. So I can go, okay, I can hover over this because there's a HQ structure in there. Where? And then I can go over here and see and hover over it, and it will give me individual information for each structure, which is what this data structure lookup is for. So, perfect. With that, what data are we passing? We're passing this stuff here. Okay. So the data structure. Passing. Okay. And actually, I'm thinking we don't want to even do that right now. We don't want to do every structure. It's just whatever your mouse is closest to, then we want to get that info for. So we can actually even optimize this quite a bit by using this later. Let's just do that for now, so I can keep doing that. So we can come get this later. But now we need to do it for the structure. So I'm going to add one of these doohickeys in here because this is going to be a big block of code, and this is all kind of one giant function. I could probably break each of these up into their own functions eventually. But right now this is just how I'm going to focus on it. Oh, do I pass their health too? Oh, I didn't know that. Do I put that in there? Do I really? The title and the description. Do I really do that? That's not at all how I'm gonna do that, I think. Yeah, I pushed the building list back into that. I don't think that needs to be done. I see what I'm doing here. Okay. I do have the health. I don't need the description though. Not for that. But it does have the health from the structures there. Which is fine. Let's get rid of the description. don't think we use a description anywhere, yeah. Is that in the health though, real quick? We have right now just the title. Why couldn't we add in the health? I think I'll do that a bit later, but well, yeah, I'll do it later because I want to do logic with that, but yeah, let's do the HQ structure for now. No, I don't like having the health in there either. Do I? You know, not in there. Sorry, I know I'm just talking to myself here because I'm trying to think how I want to structure this. Because the health of the object will be saved to the logic itself. This is a building list that gets saved to the flagpole, which is fine. Save to the flag or to the town for map purposes only. I mean, you can update stuff later with that, but this is the big back-end variable we're trying to figure out now. To spawn in the logic here, and this is where we want to put the health. So yeah, this is anything that's tied for just that. Descriptions we can put somewhere else. That's perfect. Okay, we'll come back to this then as I'm slowly figuring this out. This will be the health of the structure. So we have logic, the pause, the type. We'll pull the... Actually, we don't need to do that for this one. Okay. It's just good information to have. So let's go down here. And we'll just put a comment here, data equals that info. Alright. Okay, we can get to it. So we have this make sure this is right. Yeah. Yep, pick up. So we have this, all this code, a lot of this code we're going to reuse, of course. And it might be shaped a little bit differently, but a lot of this is still going to be the same, where we're going to be creating, yep, all this information here. Let's just grab this part here real quick. This is all the UI stuff that I'm just going to reuse. And then so we're going to create it around the mouse cursor. And we're going to find the closest object. Okay, here we go. So right now we're looking for the flagpoles. But now what I need to do is look for the closest structures at all. So this is where it's going to get tricky, because how I designed this, it needs to be, so when you scout also enemy structures, you need to be able to see those too once you know what they are. So you highlight it and it tells you, so you can target things a little bit better. So right now we put them all in the side structures, which isn't terrible. And we have other structures as well. So we need to have a list of just total structures is what we need. Anything inside structures you'll just already know about, so that's fine. And so let's do it. We can do that here. All structures. Okay. So what we're going to do is create an empty variable up here. that. We're actually going to even do it outside because this is going to be accessed by this has to be accessed by everything. Okay. Because I just realized this might not always be available. Yeah. So we're gonna have to redo this anyway. Okay. I'm talking to myself. That's okay. So we're gonna set this up too here. So let's go ahead and set up for enemy structures. Get that support built in right now. Let's do side array X. This is just for me later. And the side array and for other structures is going to be, you know, these up here. It's like going to be an example. And then this code is going to just essentially mimic this code. But, however, man, this is complicated. I'm gonna do a check to see if you scouted the building. Because in here I have it. Oh yeah, I already have that set up here. So if you scouted the building or not will just be stored in the building itself. True or false? Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So in the building array itself, there is going to be... Yeah, that's right. Okay. Copy this. So there's going to be type, there's going to be health, and then there's going to be spotted array. Okay. If player side is in spotted array, then boom. Perfect. So each building's have its own little spotted function. So if it gets spotted, it's in there. It'll be put in that list, and then bada bing, bada boom, we're good to go. So now we have this giant temporary list, and it's creating them right now. But one thing I realized, this is gonna be creating them all on the color of the side. So, and since the other structures can always change up, what we're going to be doing is a little bit of sneakiness here. Custom color. So the custom color is going to be, we'll say color red. And if if X is in this, then blah. That's a very inefficient way of doing that. Let's just be the best way to do this. I want those colors to be correct. I'm gonna do it for each one. I'm gonna do it. Well, if it's in this array, then make it red. But you should be able to tell just by the side. We can do it up here. If side A is equal to this, then that. And we can do that with east and west. And then we can do changing the color here. We'll just assume that it's always green. And then we can get rid of this one completely. Put some color equals color red. Color blue. And then that's going to be thrown in right there. Okay. So now we got that working. Jeez, okay. And only the ones that are scouted will pop up in this list. So then we're good, we're clear. So now we can go back to what I was doing before. So I wanted to make sure I added a framework for enemy buildings as well, so I don't have to go back and redo a whole system. Alright. And now we're back to this. So right now we're looking for the nearest flagpoles, which is fine, but now with this, we need to create essentially this creates a marker, right? Yeah. Yeah, we need to create a compiled list of everything. Just one big list now. For this closest object check. Compile a big list of every logic. So all logics. Will be an empty array. And then for that array that we already had, we're going to do for each. And I'm going to grab that info that we are saving. Just this, I mean right here, right? Well, yeah, let's just like this entirely. So what we can do is when you select it, it goes to full bright color. So it looks, you know exactly what you're selecting. And then we have the data here. So we have new pause, the health, and the spotting array. Spotted array. Spotted side array. Okay. This is the logic, and the position, the title. Okay, so the data, this is where we want to do that lookup. Okay, all that work to do this, which is fine because we're setting up framework stuff. But this stuff takes the longest. But we're going to go ahead and now we're finally going to work on the structure lookup. Okay. So we are passing. Really, all we're going to care about is right now is this type here. This is going to be a switch case. Do I have switch in here? I have switch somewhere in this. Hello, AT. Alright. I hope you're doing well tonight. Or wherever you're at. Okay, so we're going to switch the type. Return info. And so each one's going to have its own little description here. We're going to return this info. This is a function that's going to return what we want it to return. So this is going to be the returned description. Okay, so the description is going to be the HQ. If this structure is destroyed, the owned side loses. This is some very basic right now. Okay. this is where we can add in, like, well, yeah, health and all that. We'll get to that. Alright. So there's the structure. So now we have a very basic return info function. So what we need to do is go ahead and recompile that. And then I want to test this so far just to make sure that we're even. Description. That we're even pulling that. So we will system chat string that back to me. Make sure that's even working. I expect to get some errors here. I was jumping around quite a bit. But I'm not. So you can see in the bottom left, it pulled it just fine. So that tells me that we can move forward. Actually, this isn't right where I put this up, but that's okay. I just realized what I've done, but that's okay. We're gonna, my brain is all over the damn place. What we need to do anyway still is break this down further. We need to put all of them into an array first. I got ahead of myself. Logic, push back, logic. Okay, this stuff will be coming later, but not yet. Okay. So this is going to find the closest logic. And this stuff is going to change. So logic array. So this is kind of some backwards work that I'm doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a list of all of, let me use this so I can talk, a list of all the logics for the structures, all the ones that we know about and that we've created. And then it's pulling in all the data. There's all like data points within that, list. There's a whole bunch of them with a whole bunch of, information in here. So I'm taking all of these, I'm pulling out one thing in each list to put it into another list that I can easily sort to which one is closest to your mouse. And then I'm comparing which one is found. We're taking that one, we're comparing it back and figuring out which one of these bigger sets of data it came from. So that's what we're kind of doing right now. That's why it's all convoluted. And there might even be an easier way to do that, but I'm going to use this find. I'm going to do find. I think it's called findef. It's a new function, which is really good. So we're going to find which one in this array, x, select 1, select 0 is equal to what we got. So this should return that kind of whole array thing I was talking about. If I pull it in there, it's pulling the index 0, so that's correct. It's the only one on the list, so we know it's working. Okay, so now we know, let's do logic array index. So now we know we can select. Now we can say with certainty that the closest structure is going to be that. And then now we can do these commands here. And that's actually probably more efficient. So we're going to do closest structure. I'm just thinking ahead here because now we want to do here is highlight this marker and deselect other markers. Okay. going to take this. And I feel like I need to do something in here where it to be a certain distance towards that marker for this to pop up, and we're going to add that next, but I'm just going to go ahead and get ahead of myself and get this out of the way. If cluster structure is equal to logic, then else, bam. So this will deselect it, which is great. Oh, this is just this pulls the array, so this is just pulling the data. I should also clarify that in my comment here. So the cluster structure is select 0. There. Okay. Jeez. Pull. Oh, we need to do this only when we're close enough. So I need to do that. That's some cold code I'm going to steal from down here. And here we are. So this code, I want to modify this to some extent. Put that. I don't know, we need to put it here. Space this out. So if the... Okay, so my mouse position and the logic. Closest logic equals, well, here we can do this now. Oh, is this going to return? Because this is, no, this is not going to return. This is just pure logic. Yeah. I'm being silly. Okay. Yep. The closest. Let's change this to the closest L. There we are. Okay, man. When you're tired, is less than what's my MR? Yeah, okay, let's do less than 100. I don't, maybe 50. I don't know, we're gonna find out what works well. This needs to be on the whole thing. Just changing some things up here. Okay. Sweet. Let's see how this goes. Oh, no errors right away. Okay, so you can see now, as we get close, it pops up. It highlights the marker, and as we go away, it deselects. So all that work just to do that, which is fine, because now we can tell which one we're highlighting and start popping up information about it. But you can see it's a little too far for my liking. I like you have to get closer. So we're doing 50 here. We're gonna do 25. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So now we know which one we're picking. And now we need to, now we can pull the information on it and display all that crap that I wanted to do before. So, here we are. So we're going to pull. Man, okay. Let's some chat that here. Yep. That's helping a lot. Okay. Jeez Louises. Turn to info. Info's param is going to be the description. Perfect. Okay. All right. Jeez. Okay. So now we get the title and the description. Now we have the info that we need. Now I like to actually generate all the text. So we have this stuff right here. Do. I think a lot of this is going to be a straight copy for it. Boom. Okay, this isn't needed though. So we're gonna delete that. That's not needed. And what we're gonna be doing. Yep. Okay. Is alright, wow. So this is gonna be changing. There's a lot here. So we have the title. Let's see, this is top line center. Size preference one is the O name. So this is going to be, we're going to delete that. This is literally just going to say, oh, this is going to be the title, or the title of the structure. And then we're going to have so we can change up the can we give any of them an image we want? Yeah, sure, let's try that. Let's go to run this. Let's do my view images here. Execute that. Hello, Tyler. It must be really early for you. Or really late. Either or. I think this one can get this one should probably get like an icon. Yeah, kind of like that. I don't know if it's yeah. So let's get that. put that bad boy right in there. This is now the actual UI design, something more fun, and we're about to see all the efforts come through. Where's %2? So %2. Okay. A lot of this we're not going to need, so we can actually get rid of this. I think we can even get rid of this. Let's get rid of everything in here. Let's put the description in. Oops, description will be %2. And then we do we have the side color defined already? It's going to be %3. So we need to pull these up too. How do we know what side they are, though? So we pull a dialogic pause. I see. Okay. Well, this will have to be a little silly, but that's okay. So we have the closest logic is going to be for net. Greater than 0. Okay. Perfect. So that should be good. Bam. Is that right? Yeah, west east. Nope. West east. Okay. Let's see if we get error messages. Yep. I haven't got one of those in a minute here. Okay. Generic error expression. So if it's equal to... Oh, yeah. That's... yeah, let's recompile that. Alright. Hey, look at that. Okay, now we're closer. and it's kind of fading in every time. So like when we look at a town, you can see it's not... Oh. Yeah, we have a new bug now. Oh no, it says there's new things in here. It's fine then. Check over here. Yeah, okay, so that's not doing it, but when I go into here, as soon as I move the mouse, it kind of... Yeah. That'll have to be fixed, but right now we need to fix this as resources for one. Percent one. Turned info. Control. I'm gonna try to just do something off the top of my head. Okay. So we have %1 up here. So we have two issues. One is that it's showing up green. It shouldn't be. But let's go ahead and see if returned info is actually returning anything. Nope, that would be why. Returned info is bringing a big blank. Let's make sure that closest structure array. Oh, you know what? Have I done that? The closest structure array is definitely pulling up the right info. I think the issue is under structural lookup. Yep, that's it. Params is, we're going to have the marker, and then we need to have the data. And of course, this is going to be data params like that. There we go, HQ. That says resources there. Which is definitely not my favorite. So let's fix that. And the color is still wrong. West building. What we will do is we're gonna system chat this here just to see what that's finding. This should work as well. That'll be our next thing we debug. Zero. Oh, that's why. Okay, perfect. Let's chat this back to us. We're getting 1. But we're setting it to 0. So it's returning 1. So that's before. Because we're creating it every time. Okay. Maybe we don't disable it anymore. Okay. I think I see what's going on. Got it. I see what's going on. Okay. So this one, you need to put that here. Okay, I should fix that. There it goes. Much better. Okay, now I'd like to make that menu stretch out a little bit because it's a lot more text, so I want it to be more readable. So we're going to oh man, I really don't want to have to do that actually. I'm gonna have to. Actually, that's actually the way I've designed this. Let me mess with this. What if I just do this? Let's just see what happens. Oh, that works just fine. Since this is supposed to be more readable, we're definitely going to... Wait, is the wrong one? Does it say still resources? Oh, it still does. So let's put at the top here. Yeah, we'll put structure there. Yeah, that should be much better. Just trying to get it to look good now. Let's put that in the center. Oh, where are the pictures? Can I make the images align in the center as well? Yes, okay. Structure HQ, perfect. And the text still seems really small because it is. Okay. Now let's go back to structure lookup and let me add in some of this kind of stuff in here. Oops. Okay. Perfect. Now we can get a little bit more intricate with it. Let's do this HQ is the permanent command outpost command post for this side. The structures destroyed, this side loses. Perfect. There we go. So then you zoom out and you change it. You get the town information and the markers disappear. It's kind of hard to tell because I'm in the way, but let me teleport away. Boop. Okay. So you can see as I highlight this, the town information pops up. There's a bug we're going to have to fix here, I can already tell. I'm going to get on that in a second. So you can see, and I can see in there, oh, there's an HQ structure. If I go over here, I don't know what's over here. Okay, cool, there's an HQ structure. Now if I zoom in enough, you can see, oh, now those pop up, and now I can start highlighting actual structures. Which is perfect. And I think I might even get this to be much closer. See, it's a pretty good distance still. I think I need to make it like, oops, 5 meters or something really small because I want it to only go if you're right on top of the dang thing. See, that is even too close. So we're gonna do, oh, did I didn't do the right one, so whoop. Thanks, Tyler. Focusing a lot on the UI. So now you have to like actually highlight the damn thing for it to show. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to stop the stream here. It's late. And Chaka fell asleep. And I need to get going. So next I can actually start is I'm going to work on the AI spawning more structures in a town. then we'll start working on the units actually leaving and trying to fight other towns and virtualizing all of that. That's what we're going to do. Okay, thanks so much for watching.